So, hi, welcome. Today, let's read the second chapter, 69th Sloka of Bhagavad Gita. I'll read and then maybe you can recite after that. I'll try to break it into small bits. Ya Nisha
Ya Nisha
Sarvabhutanam
Sarva Bhutanam
Ya Nisha Sarvabhutanam
Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam
Yanisha Sarvabhutanam
Tasyam
Tasyam
Jagarti Samyami
Jagarti Samyami
Tasyam Jagarti Samyami
Tasyam Jagarti Samyami
Yasyam
Yasyam
Jagrati Bhutani
Jagrati Bhutani
Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani
Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani
Sa Nisa
Sanisa
Pasyato Munehe
Pasyato Munehe
Sa Nisha Pasyato Munehe
Sanisa Pasyato Munehe.
So that's the shloka of second chapter, 69 shloka. I'm reading the synonyms. Once I read the synonyms, maybe after that we will do the translation and Purpat, maybe Sandeep or Madhu. Let's take the turns and then read it. So synonyms, Ya means what, Nisha, in the night. So when we want to say good night, we can say Nisha Swasti. Nisha means is night. Nisha Swasti, we can say good night. So Ya, what, Nisha is night. Sarva, all. Bhutanam, of living entities. Tasyam, in that. Jagarti, is wakeful. Samyami, the self-controlled. Yasyam, in which. Jagrati, are awake. Bhutani, all beings. Sa, that is. Nisha, night. Pashyataha, for the introspective. Munehe, sage. Translation: what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. So this is we have to understand this a bit in a deeper manner. It's a very short purport. Sandeep, you want to read it?
Okay. There are two classes of intelligent men. One is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification, and the other is introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. Activities of introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. One second, let me read this. I didn't understand this. Activities of the introspective sage or thoughtful man are night for persons materially absorbed. I still didn't understand. You tell me later. Kya hai iska matlab? Materialistic persons remain asleep in such a night due to the ignorance of self-realization. The introspective sage remains alert in the night of the materialistic men. Oh, okay. Now I understand in the context.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The sage feels transcendental pleasures in the gradual advancement of spiritual culture, whereas the man in materialistic activities, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of varieties of sense pleasure, feeling sometimes happy and sometimes distressed in his sleeping condition. The introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happiness and distress. He goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reactions.
Super.
Thiru, over to you.
Okay. Madhu, you want to give your initial thoughts or comments, or you want to read it again, Madhu?
No. It's very typical. So what I request is maybe you give a detailed elaboration on this purport.
Okay. So, Anand, you want me to continue, or you want to share something?
No, Niru, today my voice is not good. I'll speak less. You go.
I think this purport is highlighting for us here uh, the quality of the beings, and how do we differentiate a person who is intelligent and in his own way, where he is applying his intelligence. So based on where we are applying our intelligence, here we should take night as not just a literal night in terms of the night what we are experiencing now here. We should take night as a description of darkness. Darkness is the kind of a meaning which is being given for few things. One is ignorance. The moment we are ignorant of certain things, though we might be intelligent, but still in perspective of some other things, we become ignorant. The other quality of a night or a darkness, like in the kind of a night when we are moving in a room, or wherever we are in kind of a distress and other things, we hold a small rope and sometimes we feel that it is a snake kind of a thing. Out of what? This is out of darkness. There is a illusionary impact that is coming into our conscious being. So we will experience illusions as well, which are of different grades depending on the our vasanas. Depending on our vasanas, we'll experience these illusions of different things. So the night here represents both ignorance and illusion. That's what we must understand as a basic background. The moment we understand this, now this particular purport is very coolly, very critically identifying the intelligent being. What is the quality of an intelligence? The quality of an intelligence is the discriminating ability. It is like a chaku. Jnanam anaisariki, it is like a double-edged sword. The moment it is there, the only quality of intelligence is its ability to discriminate from what I want to do now or I don't want to do now, from what is useful for me and what is not useful for me, based on his vasanas and his expectation, whether that particular being wants to use his intelligence towards sense gratification, or he could use the intelligence towards self realization. So depending on that, the level of the darkness or the level of the night at which he is going to operate is being very pleasantly, critically being presented in the Sloka of Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 69th verse. The whole goal of this particular chapter, which is Sankhya Yoga, is to give the human being how he has to balance his lifestyle without getting disturbed in various scenarios of his life. It could be in his personal life, it could be in his personal professional life, it could be in his religious endeavors, or it could be in his spiritual travel, in his endeavors. So it says that there are two classes of intelligent men. The first class is the one, he is also considered as an intelligent man because he is able to discriminate, but in the material activities. Last time in the last verse we have discussed how the person is operating at different levels depending on the vasanas which are coming because of the Arishad Varga's attachment, where he is operating from the material activities. These material activities are body oriented, they are physical oriented, therefore with emotion oriented. They are towards the sense gratification of all the various six aspects which are the core. Bhagavad Gita, time and again, even the Upanishads, time and again, they say the key thing towards the sense gratification is the lust. That is the king. That is the one which drives the rest of the other things. So only a person who is able to have that kind of a discriminating control on the sense gratification is a person who will travel in the intelligence in the other form. So the first line, if you see, one is intelligent in material activities for sense gratification. That's the first kind of a intelligent man. The second kind of intelligent man, it says, is the other is the introspective and awake to the cultivation of self-realization. That's the reason time and again I'm trying to highlight and focus that as a person, the person who is bringing his awareness in every activity he is doing in his day-to-day, moment by moment, daily activities, whether he is doing a business transaction, whether he is doing a personal family transaction with maybe his kids, or maybe with his wife, or maybe with his parents or relatives, he must be aware from which level he is operating. That's a basic step. Once we are aware of that particular thing, the introspection is already awakened in us. We start, introspection means we start looking into our own selves deeper and deeper. We not only look into ourselves in terms of the material things, we also look in terms of the spiritual thing. So this particular intelligent person, his focus, his anchor is on cultivation of himself to awake this kind of a realization within him. So one person is looking inside into himself, and the other person who is intelligent is looking outside into the sense gratification. Both are intelligent, but the focus point where they are looking at is different. The plane where they are operating is different. So these two classes of intelligent men, the one is looking at the material activities for sense gratification, and the other is looking within himself, introspecting and trying to awake to cultivation of the self-realization. Now, it is a choice. If you watch the movies Matrix also, we say that every instance we have a choice. Same is the case with any of our Indian movies or any kind of a movies we see here nowadays, because now many of the people are trying to observe or watch movies. So that's the reason I'm taking the reference of a movie here. If we look at the whether it is a hero or the villain, or a comedian, or any other character in that particular thing, every character in that is always offered with a choice. He's offered with a choice. So from which choice he's operating, his course of destiny will be defined. This is very beautifully said by even Anthony Robbins, who is one of the very famous self-realized kind of a being, but on the business side and on the self-development, personality development kind of stuff. I like his quote, which has changed me a lot in my thought process. He says, "It is at the moments of our decision that the destiny is defined." Number one, which I've learned from that book, "Awaken the Giant Within" is the title of that book, where I really like. The second one is, he says very nicely, it is not the words that are important. It is the meanings that we attach with the words that become important. So it could be the same sense. One is intelligent, but The moment he is attaching his focus on the sense gratification, his journey is in a different direction. And for the person who is intelligent and his focus is on awakening and cultivating his self realization towards his own self as journey within, his journey will be different. So the activities of the introspective sage here, sage, who is considered as a sage or a rishi in our language of Indian culture, we call them as the rishis. These are the people who take up some activities, and these people really do a lot of research. They try to understand how, where, what, why, who, all the five W's and the H. They try to address these people. They are very thoughtful people. They are highly thoughtful men. So for these people, the activities of introspective sage or thoughtful men are night for persons materialistically absorbed. In the sense, all the activities, say for example, if I'm doing this particular sadhana of Bhagavad Gita now, if any other person who is seeing outside the people who are not interested in these realms, they will think that we are stupids, we are idiots. We do not know how to enjoy things. They think that we have left everything. So from their perspective, we are in night. In the sense, we are in ignorance. In the sense, we are in illusions. That there is a spiritual path, there is something which is helping us for balancing our lives, personal and professional, from his perspective, because he is totally absorbed in sense gratification. So, whereas the materialistic person remains asleep in such a night due to the ignorance of the self-realization, this person, the other intelligent person who is totally engrossed in in sense gratification, he doesn't even realize, because he is not even giving a thought process for what it is. He will not know how to strike a balance. If you see some of the people, especially people with high levels of IQ, very high levels of intelligent quotient, they will be emotionally, they will be spiritually disturbed kind of beings. They will not know who to trust, who not to trust. They will never be able to share their things with the other person. It's very difficult for them. Wherever they are going, they have this kind of an insecure internal feeling. In order to curb such kind of a feelings, they engross themselves into the sense gratification kind of a activities. Now these materialistic person, in such a condition, they always want to remain in sleep. They continue to be in sleep, in such kind of ignorance. In contrast, the introspective sage will always remain alert even in the night of the materialistic man. What does it mean? The night of the materialistic man is nothing but the introspection kind of an activity for the person who is looking for his own self-development and self-realization. I don't want to use the realization of Krishna consciousness or any other thing, but he becomes highly objective oriented. This person knows how to discriminate things. I consume alcohol. Is it good or bad? Yes, it is good when you take it in a particular portion. It is bad when you cross a limit. Similar is the case with anything. The moment we do not know how to strike a balance, how much quantum of consuming anything is good for your own self-being in the personal life, in the societal life, and in the spiritual life. We do not know that balance, we immediately topple down. So this particular person who is like a rishi or a sage, or like you and me today, we are working towards awakening, and we are putting an effort to cultivate a habit of self-realization, bringing that kind of an awareness into ourselves, that we are focusing on which aspect we are operating or we are working from in terms of our Arishad Vargas in each and every activity. We become very, very alert. We become highly alert because we know how to strike a balance. I might consume beer, I might consume alcohol. Is it good or is it bad for me? I will ask a question to myself. How much quantum of that is good for me? How much quantum of that is not good for me? Where do I need to stop? So he becomes highly disciplined. Therefore, the moment he becomes disciplined, he enjoys the freedom of enjoying the, whether you call it as a sense gratification or you call it as self-realization. He knows how to strike the thin cord of the balance. So the introspective sage remains alert. This is the key word. He becomes alert. He becomes self-aware, he becomes alert, and he knows how to strike the balance. The sage feels a transcendental pleasure in the gradual achievement of spiritual culture. Now, because he knows this particular sage who is being referred to as rishis, he knows that with a continuous practice, he can become a Raja Rishi, for example. He now grows to become to the next level. From sage, he becomes a Raja Rishi. Example for this is the growth of Vishwamitra, who was a king. Now, from being a king with all his mighty, all his skill set, entire kingdom of sense gratification, he can take anything from his kingdom. But when he went to Vashishta Maharishi, where I should call him as Brahma Rishi, Vashishta Brahma Rishi, when he went there, he understood that his whole army, his whole kingdom is tuch, is nothing in front of the Brahma Rishi, Vashishta Maharishi. So Vishwamitra has understood this. So he wanted to gain such kind of a thing. That was his realization point. From there, he has done lot of sadhana, lot of research, lot of understanding, and lot of practices. After which, he has become a Raja Rishi to the second level. Because this happens not suddenly, but it is a gradual development, gradual achievement. Though this particular Rishi has achieved the next level of being a Raja Rishi, still he was under the influence of the Arishad Vargas. He was under the influence of anger. Why? Because at core, he was still the king. He was, anything he's asking for, he must get it. He was rude. He was harsh. There was no love and compassion in his being. All he wanted to do was to prove to Vashishta Maharishi that he is his equal and he is better than him and he has got more power than him. The moment his thought processes were in that direction, though he is a Raja Rishi, he couldn't experience the next higher levels of spiritual being. But yes, because he has started working himself inwards with an awareness, he started experiencing the transcendental pleasures and gradually advancement towards the spiritual culture compared to any other materialistic man or materialistic activities. Now he has started to reduce his materialistic activities, but this bliss is only experienced by a person who is introspective, being asleep to self-realization, dreams of a variety of sense pleasure, feelings, sometimes happy and sometimes distressed. Now, these people who are in sense gratification, you see, you will find them at various levels. A small disturbance in his personal life or in his professional life, he will be thoroughly disturbed. He will start consuming more of alcohol, or he will start eating more of food, or he will start sleeping too much, or he will start doing just work too much. He wants to escape. His approach is as an escapistic kind of an approach. His approach is not towards a balanced lifestyle. He starts becoming escapist. You can see number of such people, especially until now. If you see, there are so many people in the IT sector I know who are highly disturbed, because their mind is constantly working on programming or logic or deliverables or whatever, with a sense of insecurity where they do not know when they are going to lose their jobs or what is going to happen. Same would be the case with the businessman who is operating on his own business. There will be a lot of disturbances which will happen, ups and downs. Could be same with the employees, but not so much with the employees, because they have limited kind of a thought process. They will say, okay, this is okay for me. If not this job, I'll try to look for something with small perks or whatever. It depends at various levels. The pain is the same, but the intensity of the pain would vary from the position of every individual who is experiencing it, who is focused on the materialistic achievements, sense gratifications. So these people come from various levels. They experience these kind of pains because their focus is on sense gratifications. Externally, they are looking at happiness. They are not looking at happiness internally. Externally, I am having an iPhone. What next? I am having good slippers. I am having a good dress, good food. What else? How much of it is going to satisfy you? Nothing. Whereas if we start focusing internally, we become very well balanced. Very well balanced. Any kind of a disturbances, up and down, any kind of a turbulences, we know how to balance ourselves. So even the night, what the materialistic person is asking for us, thinking he is an intelligent person, he in fact he is not aware in unknown stage that there is something else that is existing. For example, when we discussed in our group, one of our friends suggested, I am absolute materialistic kind of stuff, but I like the way really Sandeep suggested that, boss, I'm looking at other things now. That is the approach. That person is an intelligent person who says, I am exploring another opportunity, another phase of it, to see not in the external world, but I'm exploring the other dimension of myself, which is the internal balanced self-realized stage. So these people are different. So the introspective man is always indifferent to materialistic happinesses and distress. So this is the technique. How can one achieve it? Being introspective, this is a quality one has to develop over a period of time. For some people, it happens in an instant, at a snap. Maybe some instance has happened in his life, and then it's a very strong jolt or a bolt kind of a thing for him, where it forces him to look into inwards. But for general public, it becomes really, who is already in a very good job, or he's getting monthly fixed kind of stuff, and then all things are happening for him the way life is giving him the jolly kind of a rides. You want to go to La Vegas, or do your gambling kind of thing. You go to any kind of beautiful beaches, enjoy yourself, all the sense pleasure gratifications happening. Good for you. But he doesn't realize that after a certain period in time, his body is not going to support him in those directions. He will not be able to sit properly. He will not be able to go and then enjoy the same beach with the same kind of erected feeling. He becomes indifferent. Now he doesn't know how to strike that balance. He becomes dependent on the drugs. Or drugs, when I mean to say, not just only narcotic drugs, it also means the kind of a medication. Maybe he is now on a psychotherapy kind of a thing. So if you look into these kind of people, they later realize that they are not able to balance their minds. They are not able to know the techniques of how to strike that balance, how to be self-sufficient, how to be looking internally, because they have not cultured themselves with time, with practice. And without practice, our mind is a drunkard monkey. It keeps on jumping from one location to the other location, seeking sense gratification. The moment this sense gratification is not happening the way it has to happen for him, he starts operating from anger. He will start throwing things down, or he will start throwing things out. It could be objects or it could be words. The words will be very harsh. There will be anger in his every word. There will be hurt in his every word that he is uttering outside. There is nothing calmness in him. So this, he experiences extreme distress over a period of time as his focus is more and more on sense gratification. But the introspective man will always be balanced. This introspective man, he goes on with his self-realization activities undisturbed by material reactions, even at any age. Even if we are growing old, we are bedridden, I'm not able to move my body outside, I might need some person to help me to move my body from one place to other, but internally my mind, myself, my consciousness will be well balanced. I will not experience distress. I will not experience pain, because I will be able to differentiate who I am between my material body, my Atman as a self, and the underlying unseen current of the super consciousness that is controlling our being. So if you look at this particular shloka, it says to give us a choice. It's giving us a choice. It says that we are already intelligent beings, but do we want to operate from the night of ignorance and experience the distress and pain because of our illusionary sense gratification of our own self? Or do we want to operate from the strength and the courage that Bhagavad Gita is offering us as a technique to balance ourselves with introspection, cultivating over a period of time? It doesn't happen book magic. Cultivating our mind, cultivating our body, cultivating our Atman to be in a state of balance by understanding which level we are operating from, and to transgress even the super ego levels of our own self, and being one with the pure consciousness. That is the technique which this particular shloka is offering for us to differentiate and select, make our wise choice, which is possible with the blessings of a guru and the super conscious. Here, with this, I close my comments. Any comments, please share. Anand or Sandeep or Madhu. Thank you.
Niru,
Yeah.
very well explained in a very detailed manner,
Thank you.
and I very much like and love your explanation, the energy levels,
Thank you.
the way you and it involving yourself and involving every one of us, and what do you call putting all your actions and relating to our day-to-day life. Very
Thank you.
well aptly said. And we are, as you said, we are a group of idiots. Like you said, the outside people think we are idiots. Okay, I do accept we are idiots. Let us be idiots. Let the others talk whatever they want. and we put our step one step by step towards the direction which we are meant to come into this world and achieve our uh, whatever the supreme has given us some direction. He is already giving every day in and day out. Let us move towards his direction and be blessed, as already we are blessed, because that's what I'm seeing in this group. Okay.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah. Any other comments, Sandeep or Anand? Then we can. Otherwise, we can close the session.
No, no, Niranjan, you have covered everything. I perfectly said. Everything is fine. I mean, totally in sync with your thoughts.
Okay. So yeah, Sandeep, anything, or maybe we can close our session. It's 9:42.
No, I don't have anything specific to say, but then just to add on to what Madhu said, I guess what's the path that we are walking is the path which has been chosen for us by the superpower. So we are just following the directions and submitted ourselves to that superpower. That is it.
Perfect. Good. So anything else, Anand, or we can close the session?
Life of a materialistic person when he's experiencing the materialistic pleasures. At that point of time now, the introspective sage is already in the state of realization. He knows that people are wasting their time and they are in the mode of ignorance. It's a matter of time that they will start uh, suffering their bad karma. And actually, the introspective sage builds some amount of compassion in the heart, compassion for the fallen souls, and tries to help them impart the real knowledge as much as possible. That is what I wanted to add here.
Okay. Okay, done. I think good. But Anand, I wish you. I'm stopping the recording, of course.